making chicken tray bakes using the air fryer. And tonight's recipe, the first one is going to be a chicken Greek and feta tray bake. It's going to be delicious. We've got red onion, courgette, lots of herbs, and I'm going to make a lemon and herb rice to serve with it. It's going to be delicious, and this can be made in any air fryer that you have, and it's quick, healthy and delicious. Right, let's begin. So I've got some chicken in here, little chicken tenders. They're quite handy because they should cook at around the same time as my vegetables. With my courgettes, I've cut those into little half moons, and I find these cook in around 10 minutes in the air fryer. And then with my onions, I've just cut those into pieces. They're probably going to fall apart. I'm fine with that. So I've opted for red onion because I think that is going to be delicious in this dish. So let's start off with the chicken. I'm simply going to season the chicken. So some black pepper and a little bit of salt over the top of that. Tiny bit of spray oil, not too much. Give that a little mix around. And then you can add whatever herbs you like. So oregano, mint, basil, they're all going to be really good flavours that are going to work well with this dish. I'm just going to put some oregano to start with on my chicken. And then here I've got my Ninja pot with my air fryer basket in that. So let's get the chicken in the bottom. Just spread that out, just so that you've got an even layer. Of course, it's just going to cook much quicker and easier that way. So now I've got courgettes. Let's get them in, and the red onion. And again, I want to season those up. More oregano. And then I'm going to tear up some fresh basil as well. In fact, I might chop that up because it's going to be a little bit easier. You can use all dried herbs, absolutely fine. Use whatever you've got. Okay, let's put that basil in. Just get those herbs on the outside of the veg, and then I'm going to add some spray oil. That's going to help it all to stick and to cook evenly. I don't think I put any salt into these, did I? I want a little bit of salt on those as well as the pepper. I'm also going to add some parsley and a little bit of mint. Like I say, you can add whatever you want to this. You don't have to follow the pattern of what I'm using. So they have got lots of gorgeous herbs on them now. So let's tip those in with our chicken. Don't worry that the chicken is underneath, because halfway we will toss this around. When I've done courgettes before, they've taken around 10 minutes, and so is the chicken. But we do have quite a lot in this basket, and therefore I'll keep an eye on it. I'm guessing it's probably going to take a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but it's still really nice and quick. It's a really healthy air fryer dish. We're then going to, once that is cooked or almost cooked, chop up some feta, sprinkle that on top, and just put that back on air fry just for a really short amount of time, just to make that nice and sort of oozy, maybe a little bronzed edge to it. That'll be absolutely delicious. And then with my rice, because the idea of this is that it's quick, easy, simple, midweek dinners, I am just opting for a microwave rice. You can use any rice you want. I've gone with a white rice. I'm going to then add lemon and herbs to that to make that super yummy. Let's get this into the Ninja, and we can close the lid down. Now I'm going to select my air fry. I'm going to turn it down slightly. I think I'm going to go with like 185. And let's give it 10 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's going to need a little bit longer. So let's go 10 to start with, and then halfway we'll give everything a toss around. 10 minutes are up, and I know it's definitely not done because I had a look halfway and it still needs some further cooking time, but that's absolutely fine. So let's continue. Probably another 5 minutes, I'm guessing. 15 minutes has been great. We've now got a bit more colour on the courgettes. The chicken is cooked. I've checked that with a thermometer just to be sure, but you can pretty much tell with these small pieces of chicken. Going to add the feta all over the top here. Oh, look how delicious this is going to be. I'm going to put the lid down, give that a few minutes. If you're looking for a thermometer other than using just the probe in the Ninja, this one is brilliant. This is from Amazon, and I find this to be really accurate. I've had no problems with it. It's really brilliant. So that is linked in my description below if you are after one. With your rice, it's really up to you what you add to it. A squeeze of lemon I've put in there. I'm going to add a little bit of basil, and I'm going to put through some parsley and some oregano again. Some nice lemony, herby rice. Oh yeah, that looks good. It smells lovely with that lemon through it as well. That's going to go so well with the feta and the chicken. So quick and easy, and a really healthy, well-balanced dinner. I forgot to show you, so apologies, but I actually served that with some tzatziki because obviously being an air fryer recipe, although you've got a tiny bit of oil on there, you've got no sauce. So it was nice to have that on the side. It was delicious. Really good, really simple and tasty. So my second tray bake could not be easier. Tonight we're doing an Italian style one. I've got my chicken breast and I have got some fresh basil pesto. Quite often I do make a homemade one. I'll link the video for you if you do want to make your own, because it's totally delicious. But you know, you can buy it in the shops just like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that pesto. So add as much as you like, really. Depends how many people you're making it for. I just coat the chicken in it. That's going to add loads of flavour to that chicken and be absolutely delicious. Meanwhile, in my air fryer basket here, I'm going to add in my cherry tomatoes, and they are literally just going to burst. I'm using a whole pack of green beans, and I really enjoy these extra fine ones. These are my absolute favourite. If you've not seen my air fried vegetables video, then you need to go and check that out, because the green beans that I made just on their own were so delicious. I almost ate the whole lot myself. They were so good. So let's get those in as well. Just move those around. And what I'm going to do now is add some spray oil over the top. This is spray olive oil, by the way. And a good amount of black pepper, I always think is nice over the top of those. You can also add just a sprinkling of salt. And now all I do is just lay my chicken over the top here and just spread it out. So we want everything to cook as evenly as possible. Normally with the green beans, they take around 10 minutes. These pieces of chicken aren't that massive, so hopefully everything's going to take around 10 minutes. And I've got a little bit of grated mozzarella to add on the top at the end. So that is why I'm going to keep a close eye on it, because the mozzarella is going to need probably a couple of minutes on air fry. If you really love pesto and you want to add more pesto than what I'm using, then do that. But for me, that's probably enough. You could definitely sprinkle over some extra pine nuts as well, I'm thinking. Ooh, maybe we could do that. So let's get this onto air fry. I'm going to go with 180 for 10 minutes, and then we're going to check it, see where we're at, and add our mozzarella. Let's see where we're at. So I gave this, I'm just going to move it a little bit. There you go. I gave this a little toss around at halfway. Our tomatoes are starting to burst, which is great, but I think our chicken is a little bit under still. So yes, these chunks of chicken, just checking them, they're a little bit under, a few of them. So we can just continue. I don't think it's going to take very much longer. So that was 10 minutes. I think that's the best thing to do, guys. You know, if you've got a thermometer, check it. If not, you're going to end up with chicken that's just dry and overdone, which is just not nice at all. And clearly no one wants to eat underdone chicken either. So I'm going to give this probably another 2-3 minutes, but we've got the time that the mozzarella is going to be in there as well, so I need to factor that in. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. So 1.5 minutes was enough to ensure that that chicken is cooked through. Let's sprinkle over our grated mozzarella. Absolutely delicious. We've got a bit of a lump going on there. Let's just spread that out. Yum. Look at this. How good is this? Of course, you don't have to serve anything extra with this. It could be on its own, a bit of crusty bread, a bit of pasta, a little bit of rice. It's up to you. Let's melt that cheese for just a minute or so. Right, let's go with this Spanish style tray bake. Of course, you can do different variations of this, but this is my one tonight. So let's get in some paprika. Delicious. So I've got diced up here, well, not diced really, they're big chunks of chorizo. So that's gonna go in my air fryer basket. Let's get my chicken in the bowl on top of the paprika, and then to that I'm going to add a little bit of oil just to help the seasoning stick, and then I'm going to open my salt. I want a little bit of salt in there. Season the chicken, some black pepper, a little bit of oregano if you want to. You can switch these up, change them up for whatever you like, and then some garlic granules, or you can use some fresh garlic. Right, we've got everything in there. Let's give that a mix. That's gonna have loads of flavour, that chicken now. Yum, yum, and more yum. Look at that. Perfect. So I'm going to lay my chicken and just spread that out. I mean, these are quite sort of thin pieces that have been sliced quite evenly, just so that we get that cooking fairly accurate. We are going to toss this halfway as we have with the other tray bakes, and then over the top of that I'm just going to put over my peppers. I've left these quite chunky, so they're still going to have a bit of a bite to them. You can chop them much finer if you prefer yours like that, and you can serve this with whatever you like. So I'm thinking that actually some little diced potatoes, like tiny little cubes, would be really nice in this, and they would cook at the same time. But I'm serving mine with rice tonight just for ease. I want these recipes to be quick, easy and convenient for you. I'm now going to get this onto air fry. We're going to go with 180 for, let's do 10 minutes to start with, and let's see where we're at. Okay, so after 10 minutes, we've got a little bit of colour on the outside of the peppers, and they've definitely softened. A little bit of colour on the chorizo. Let's have a look at this chicken. Let's just sort of check the temperature that we've got in this. I think our chicken looks cooked, so 10 minutes. This is pretty fast. Oh, this is a slightly chunkier bit. Let's just check that. Okay, that one's a little bit under. So we're just going to give this a couple of more minutes. It's just going to give a little bit more colour to everything. And that's all it's going to need. So it's pretty quick, isn't it? So 12 minutes. So there we go. There is my lovely Spanish chicken tray bake. I'm going to serve that up now with some rice, and then we're going to chop up some olives into it too. Here's my Spanish chicken tray bake, and I've served that on a bed of rice. It looks absolutely delicious. This is going to be super tasty. Tonight I'm making the Indian style tray bake in the Ninja. This is going to have lots of Indian spices in it to make it really, really tasty. So we're going to use chicken again, and I'm going to put some little diced potatoes in, some lovely little florets of cauliflower. I'm going to chop everything up quite finely so everything cooks at the same time, because that is really the key thing to making these really quick air fryer dinners. We're going to have some mango chutney on the side and a little bit of yogurt as well. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So I've got chicken in a bowl here, and then I've got my small pieces of cauliflower all cut up. There is a little bit of red onion under there as well. Really, it is add whatever you like or whatever you fancy, but I think with the Indian spices, this goes quite nicely. I've got some diced up potato, which I've just been soaking, so I'm going to go and drain that now. So what I like to do is add everything into one bowl, really coat it well before I put it into the air fryer. So chicken, veggies, and my little potatoes. Should really have patted those potatoes dry. So as they're on top, I'm just going to use a little bit of kitchen towel just to get a little bit of moisture off of those. That's what I get for rushing, isn't it? Let's get some oil. So let's do some spray oil over the top. And now you can add your seasoning. So I am choosing garlic granules. I'm going to put a teaspoon in. I've got some ground turmeric here. I think I'm more or less going to go roughly with a teaspoon of each. There's no right or wrong here. Got ground cumin. You can use cumin seeds, of course. Okay, put that in as well. Oh, and then some lovely garam masala. That smells amazing. Teaspoon again. And then for a bit of a kick, let's put some chili powder in. I don't know how much I'm going to want, really. Let's go with around half. And then the very last thing is some smoked paprika. Get that over the top. I've got a lime here, so I'm just going to juice that and get that in. Here's the juice of my lime. And now just to mix and coat everything with these lovely spices. The last thing I'm going to add, just for some extra veg, is some nice pieces of pepper. Lovely and colourful and fragrant. So let's get this onto air fry. Just to prevent sticking, I'm going to put a little bit of spray oil in the bottom of my air fryer basket. And now let's tip in our gorgeous Indian spiced chicken and veg. I'm going to do the same as I did last time on the other tray bake style air fryer dishes, which is cook it for 10 minutes on 180 and see where we're at. Give it a toss around halfway and we'll see how much cooking time this actually needs. So with this tray bake, because you've got potatoes in here, my tip is to make the pieces of potato nice and small so that they become tender without everything else overcooking. So potatoes really small like this. Can you see that? I'm sure you probably can. So that's really small. And then your chicken pieces, you want to make sure your chicken pieces are a bit larger. So the larger the chicken piece, obviously it's not going to dry out too much. Pieces of cauliflower I cut up really fine. You can see how thin I did those to make sure that they are nice and tender, because that's how we like it. This is ready to serve. This has had around 15-16 minutes because I just wanted to make sure the potatoes were nice and tender. The chicken is cooked, so let's go and plate up. There you go, so that is served up. You could most definitely put some extra rice with this, or you could put some naan bread on the side. I'm going to drizzle over a little bit of raita because that's going to give a nice, just, well, a little bit of moisture really, isn't it, to this kind of dish. And obviously there's a little bit of heat in here with the spices, so that's really nice just to have that on top. And then I've also got a big dollop of mango chutney on the side there. Look at that. Really fast, really easy. I hope you give it a go and I hope you enjoy these 4 different tray bake recipes.